Hey guys, welcome back. So today I am super excited to share with you my latest book haul. In this haul, I ended up going to Value Village over a series of 2 visits, and I ended up with 11 books total. So if my scheduling works out the way that I want it to, there will be an unhaul video that has already gone up that I am actually filming after this haul video. So if you see any of the books behind me that I unhauled in that video that came out previous to this video, that's why. I'm just not filming in order because I'm a menace. I don't know. So I got all of these books from my local Value Village. If you guys don't know, Value Village is a thrift store / secondhand shop kind of thing. They sell everything from clothes to electronics to crafts, and of course, they also sell books. So the first couple of books that I picked up in my Value Village haul are a couple of children's novels, namely The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett and Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. Both of these stories have a really special place in my heart. If you want to know a little bit more about what The Secret Garden is about, then I highly suggest you go and check out my video about my 5 favorite books of all time, because this book is definitely up there. What I will say about this book is that if you haven't read it, it's a completely heartwarming tale that will make you wish that you had read it sooner. As far as Anne of Green Gables goes, this story has a very interesting place in my heart. Growing up, there was an Anne of Green Gables TV show that my mom and I used to bond over. We used to watch it all the time when I would come home from high school and stuff, and it was just a really wholesome, really beautiful story that I absolutely fell in love with. And then when I went into university and I started a children's literature class, this was on the reading list. I realized while I was reading this book that it is so closely scripted to the TV show that I really didn't need to read it, so I ended up skimming it. So I don't fully remember what of the story I remember from the book versus the TV show, but regardless, this story just holds such a special place in my heart. The next book that I picked up at my local Value Village, I actually just picked up today, and that is Kafka on the Shore by Murakami. I've heard a lot about Murakami, and I really am interested to see what this is like. It kind of sounds from the description like it's a little bit of a surrealism type story where you're not sure if what it says is happening is actually happening. It sounds like we're following 2 very interesting characters in this book, and I'm very excited to see what the writing style is like because I've heard so much about it. So we'll see if I'm a Murakami fan. So the next book that I was super excited to find, I actually let out like an audible gasp when I was in Value Village, and that is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I have heard so many good things about this book. So apparently the story follows a girl named Kath who has a twin sister named Wren, and the 2 of them have been fans of this Simon Snow character for their entire lives. It seems like being a part of that really got them through a lot in their childhood and into kind of their teen years, but now that they're going off to college, a whole bunch of things are going to change. When I was reading the synopsis of this book, there was a couple of sentences there that really just caught me, that made me want to read this book really badly, so I'm just going to read them to you. Kath is on her own, completely outside of her comfort zone. She's got a surly roommate with a charming, always-around boyfriend, a fiction writing professor who thinks fan fiction is the end of the civilized world, a handsome classmate who only wants to talk about words, and she can't stop worrying about her dad, who's loving and fragile and has never really been alone. When I read that, my heart split in 2. It just did. So the next couple of books that I picked up literally because I just love this author. That author is Neil Gaiman. First up, I picked up American Gods. I've heard good things about it, but I have no clue what this is about. I'm just really excited to read it because I've read a couple of things by Neil Gaiman in the past, and I just really enjoy his writing style, and I really enjoy how he weaves a story together, so I'm super excited to get to this. The other book that I picked up was Good Omens by both Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. I recently just listened to a Terry Pratchett book, Dodger, and I actually really enjoyed that story as well, so I'm really excited to see what Good Omens is like, considering both of them are writing this book. I also know that Good Omens has started as a TV show. So apparently this book is about the end of the world. Apparently there's an apocalypse coming, and there's an angel character and a demon character. They really don't want the apocalypse to happen because they've actually grown to enjoy living amongst the humans. Apparently that's what this story is about. Apparently they team up and they try and make things work, and I'm assuming they try and stop the apocalypse. Very excited to read this because I eventually want to check out the TV show as well. So the next book that I picked up was kind of a little bit of a random choice. I had heard good things about the author, and the back of the book seemed to intrigue me. That book is Circle of Magic #1, Sandry's book. I've heard a lot of really good things about Tamora Pierce. One of my best friends actually reads a lot of Tamora Pierce, and so I was familiar with the name. I've never read her myself, but I am excited to give it a shot. The back of the book explained that this story is basically a magical fantasy story where you get kind of a ragtag group of friends together and they all have to go and work towards a common goal, which is always the kind of story that I'm up for, so I'm very excited to start this book. So the next book that I picked up is one that I have never heard of. I have never even heard of this author, to be honest, but it seemed like it had decent reviews, and I really liked the concept. That is The Hidden World by Alison Baird. Honestly, one of the major reasons why I picked this book up was because it mentions Newfoundland, like Newfoundland, Canada, and the character goes and visits Newfoundland, and she ends up going through some of her grandma's old things, and apparently she ends up going to this other world that her grandmother writes about. I think her grandmother's a writer, and she's writing about this other world, and I love stories where main characters get thrust into another world. When I was younger, I started writing a book, and I wrote a book that was about that premise, like an unsuspecting individual being thrown into a whole other world full of magic and whatever. I really like that concept, so I'm really excited to see what happens in this book. I think there was also mention of Celtic folklore, which is really intriguing to me. So yeah. The next book that I picked up was a book that I picked up purely because it reminded me of one of my favorite TV shows, that TV show being Downton Abbey, and that is The American Heiress by Daisy Goodwin. Apparently. And I didn't even notice it until right now. On the cover, it actually says, anyone suffering Downton Abbey withdrawal symptoms will find an instant tonic in Daisy Goodwin's deliciously evocative novel. Imagine. So this is kind of considered a period piece. I believe it takes place in the 1890s, and it follows this young American heiress girl who is apparently being shipped off to England so that she can find a husband and earn a title. When I first read the synopsis for this online, my immediate thoughts were, this must be like the story of Cora from Downton Abbey. This must be like her backstory. And it's actually kind of funny because the main character's first name is Cora. Either way, I'm just really excited to get into this story because I feel like this is going to satiate that hunger that I have for more Downton Abbey. We'll find out. The next book that I picked up was a book that everybody that I asked about it had something different to say. That book is The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown. No, I have not read Angels and Demons, and no, I have not read The Da Vinci Code, and I don't really plan on reading Inferno, which a lot of people seem to take a lot of problem with because this is number 3 in a series, apparently. But I've also read online that this book, you can read it out of order. I'm gonna be reading it as a standalone. If you think that that's very wrong, like if you've read all of them and you want to let me know if I should be doing that or not, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I would appreciate the input. I don't know, I read the synopsis for this and it seems like it's going to be this really cool tale of intrigue and mystery, and I guess kind of like the Da Vinci Code because it's the same series. Apparently this is the lowest rated out of all 4 of them, so I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens with it. So the last book that I picked up on my crazy 11-book Value Village haul was Circe by Madeline Miller. This is a book that I was so excited to find. It was on the bottom shelf in the corner, tucked way in the back, and it was kind of like somebody had been trying to hide it maybe, which I really hope that no one was trying to hide it because then I feel bad for taking it, but I also kind of don't feel bad because this is like a $32 book that I got for $6. So I'm kind of like, yeah. I don't know a lot about it at all. What's new? I never know anything about the books that I'm going into apparently, but I like it that way. I do know that this has a lot of Greek mythology influence. When I was in 4th grade, I was obsessed with Greek mythology. Obsessed. Like I did my 4th grade speech on Greek mythology and how it was so cool and how there were all the different gods and all the different stories and all this stuff. I'm really excited to read this book just so that I can feel that excitement for Greek mythology again. I think it's going to be a really fulfilling experience for me. We'll see. So that's it. That is all I've got for you guys today. I need to put myself on a book buying ban now because I think between this and the book outlet haul that I did, I'm pretty sure I've brought home 19 books, which is a lot. That's not good. I should really stop. I don't have the shelf space for that. With all of that out of the way, I wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do not hesitate to like and subscribe. Also, drop a comment down below if you have anything to say about any of the books that I picked up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm super interested to see what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.